If you've seen all the videos in the public here and want more exclusive videos and perks, check me out on Patreon and find out how you can get exclusive rewards in the midst of supporting this channel. What's going on, TB Nation? How are you? So this is all about bilge pumps. This has been a requested video for a while. I don't know why I haven't done one yet, but this one is specifically all about it, why you need them, the differences between them all, and how to pretty much make your boat very, very, very hard to sink if you have the right setup. So we'll talk about all those things, and then in the end I'll tell you, because this is a very complicated boat in terms of what I did to get all the wiring there, we'll talk about some similar ways to, we'll talk about some simpler ways to do it at the end of this video. But either way, no matter how complicated your boat is, no matter what boat you have, you need a bilge pump in there. You do. It's necessity. Bilge pumps are pretty essential, so we're going to run two of them. We are going to be running a 500 GPH Johnson bilge pump, that's that red one right there, and we are going to also be running an 1100 GPH bilge pump. It's just an off-brand one from Amazon, but that is going to be our secondary. Oh crap, the boat is taking a massive failure or something happened, we forgot the boat plug. That bilge pump will bail us out. Each of these bilge pumps have a bottom that is removable, and we will be mounting the bottom to just our own little brackets. We're going to have to make brackets out of just some aluminum sheet metal so they stay in place, and then we're just going to screw them right there to the transom. Proper placements for the bilge pumps should be as far to the back as they can possibly be. That way when you're all the way back there and you're kind of leaning, they'll suck up all the water right in the edge of the corner. We're also going to run them adjacently on each corner, so it's easier to kind of gather and collect the water versus just running it straight in the middle. You'll also need 3/4 bilge hose for the 500 GPH, and you'll need like 1 1/8 inch hose for this 1100 GPH. You can find those both at a hardware store, by the way. Okay, so everything in there is a super tight fit. Just enough room for the emergency bilge. And we got our other our standard bilge that we just normally purge out water is right there. Got our quick connect. We were able to fit it right. That was the best corner for it. It was either gonna go there or right there, but bear in mind we still have to run that hose into here. We have to, heat it up with a heat gun so we can bend it and curve it. And we're likely gonna just try and flap it over here because that stuff is really good stuff from that Fireant, and you can see some of the stuff woven into it. So when you heat it up and then you let it form to shape after it's cooled, it stays that way. So we can kind of arc it up this way and arc it down and then put a clamp over it to secure it. I generally run my bilge hoses over the top, so for one, I can see that they're actively working with my, I can visually see it, and two, because a 15-inch transom is just really low, and so it's just better. You do have an option to run hose all the way through, say that side panel there, and re-drill a hole out the side of your hull at the highest part you possibly can, and then have it bilge out that way. I just don't particularly like it, not a big fan. I'd rather just have them running right over the transom. It's less damage to the overall hull, less modification, and you can actively see them working. Those are conduit guides that I got from Lowe's. I use them for PVC, but they also work right here. They're going to do the job to hold these in place as well. Down there, clamps down there. They're all attached to brackets down here. I just made out of 0.050 aluminum or 0.040, one of the two. Nice, pretty well. It's a really good valve system. It's got quick release lock. Pull your plug for a second, just to do it. Not that anything will happen, but just say you forgot your bilge pump. Say you forgot your boat plug, which happens. We're gonna go ahead and pull the boat plug. That's quite a bit of water running in through here now. It's just like flowing in there. And watch, as it flows in, watch, there's a lot, you can come back here. We're actively floating that in. Okay. So, see, there's a lot of water.
Sometimes you don't even know it's happening. Like sometimes you just forget to put your in a hurry to get on the lake.
accident. Yeah.
So this should float right now, and she should expend all of it pretty quickly. When's it gonna float? There it goes.
It automatically shifts on.
Yeah.
And that's when I have which switch on.
That's your manual. Pump. You can touch that one too. And that one's pumping out water too. Look, now we got both pumping out.
Yeah, that's just stuck in there. Oh wow.
Well, look, it's keeping up with the boat plug out. In fact, it's actually emptying it faster than the boat plug can suck in water.
Yeah, it is. It's pulling 2 portions close.
Yeah. I mean, that's 1,600 gallons per minute going out right now. It even cut off. Wow.
It didn't have enough to.
Yeah, it didn't have enough to actually activate it. It's gonna cut back on right now, though.
Yeah.
That thing can't keep up. It'll try.
That. Oh wow.
Okay. So that's.
So you have a plug this way.
We're gonna go ahead and plug it back. Yeah.
You prefer to plug it this way, as opposed to on the outside?
Yeah, I don't like plugging it on the outside. Anything could have it on the outside, but you have complete control of it. Go to your fish finder. Okay. Dude, what you gotta do? I know you got fish fever. I know you don't get on the lake very much, old man.
We'll be here another 10, 15 minutes.
The one thing I didn't cover was that auxiliary bilge had 3 wires. It had 2 power wires and 1 ground. 1 power was to the float switch and the other one was directly to the panel. So that one could be activated by the panel, but if the panel blew out and for some reason you couldn't activate it there or activate the other 500 GPH Johnson, it would have a separate wire all the way back to the battery with its own fuse, so it was completely independent of the switch panel, and it would still kick on in the midst of an emergency. So the auxiliary bilge is a definite must. You absolutely need at least 1, but 2 is so much better, just for these reasons. The next video in series will be the live well video. I haven't put out a live well video because I haven't had any updates on my current venue, but I have a giant update in this one. It is so much better than anything I've ever put out. This kit is from Bobby from briansmarine.shop. He puts out kits. They're about as much as you would cost to retrofit your own, but this one has its own remote switch. It only runs off 1 pump, has a complete valve system. The same system you put in higher end bass boats is in this boat. Can't wait to demo it. All the parts you saw, all the bilge pumps, everything, they're all in my Amazon store. I have them right in the description area below. Just click on the link. It takes you directly to my store, as well as the wiring, as well as the fuses, as well as anything you'll ever need for a tiny boat build. Please check me out on Patreon. Please check out my channel for all kinds of videos like this. Thank you so much. See ya.